The next video I wanted to show is a clip from Edward Said discussing one of the claims that is central to the Zionist defense of the occupation of the Palestinian people, which is that they were there, and you can prove with the Bible that that land belongs to the Jewish people. Let's look at Said's response. Said is someone whose work is really good when it comes to Palestine. As a philosopher, I disagree with a lot of his other stuff. He pulls a little bit too much from the tradition of postmodernism and Foucault, but nonetheless, he is pretty good in his analysis here. I'm trying to zoom this in. How is it? There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Actually, let me make this smaller because I gotta put the volume.
Do the Zionists have any historical claim to the lands of Israel?
Of course, but I would not say that the Jewish claim or the Zionist claim is the only claim or the main claim. I say that it is a claim among many others. Certainly the Arabs have a much greater claim because they have had a longer history of inhabitants, of actual residents in Palestine, than the Jews did. And to isolate one of them and say that's the real owner of the land, I mean, that is fundamentalism. And this is very important. I don't think any claim, I don't care whether it's given by God, about whom I have many doubts, by the way, or by the emperor, nobody has a claim that overrides all the others and entitles that person with that so-called claim to drive people out. I mean, that's the point. Very, very important point. I mean, Jews have a claim, and I've never denied that. Of course they do. But is it a claim that can tell a Palestinian, well, you've got to leave this house because I got it 3,000 years ago? I mean, it's true I come from Poland or from Brooklyn, but I have a bigger right to this house than you do. So get out. I'm sorry, I disagree with that kind of logic.
So, Said, do the Zionists have any historical?
It's only the fact that as soon as you question that and how absurd that sounds, like, yeah, I don't care if you and your Palestinian family have been here for the last 12 generations and you can trace it back, and I don't care. There's this text that says that we belong here. So me, who was raised in Brooklyn, whose parents are from Brooklyn, and whose family before that is from Poland or whatever other part of Europe, I'm going to come here, I'm going to take your home because of that. A rational person listens to that and says, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who thinks like that? That makes no sense. There's been so many skits made, like comedians are, stand-up comedians, especially the younger ones, the people that are just getting started. They're hitting it off with making fun of Zionism because it's absurd. It's almost like an SNL skit. But the way that people listen to that absurdity and don't call it out for what it is, a lot of the times it's just because they're scared to be called anti-Semitic. And that's absurd because there couldn't be a more anti-Semitic project today in terms of the scale that it allows anti-Semitism to be produced than Israel, that wages crimes against humanity and genocides and puts the Star of David on it. What more, what greater force promotes anti-Semitism today, or at least anti-Jewish sentiments, because the Palestinians are Semites, but anti-Jewish sentiments? What greater force promotes that anti-Jewish sentiments and makes Jewish people less safe than Israel, that makes the most horrific crimes we've seen in the 21st century in the names of Jews? It's absurd. It's the clearest case of ideology, of a condition where the material reproduction of that specific state of affairs is dependent on their ability to have the understanding of that state of affairs be turned on its head. It is only when that state of affairs understands itself in a completely topsy-turvy and upside-down manner, that the reproduction of it can be legitimized and justified. It's completely absurd. Thank you so